If you need to know where Draymond's dojo is, it's right next to John Morant's shooting range.
No, Chris Kaman had a great NBA career.
Chris Kaman, but he's so ugly.
No, that's not
so unbelievably ugly.
That doesn't affect your draft status.
The squeeze is full of holes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
How about those Chiefs?
Disgusting.
Oh, I had a good week.
Nothing to say.
I had a good week. How'd you guys' week?
Oh,
to the
God,
Juice Boys
just
show.
Like rest of America in complete despair and anguish. Only Kansas City and San Francisco is happy right now.
Yes, welcome, boys, to the Juice Boys show. I've been so excited for this episode. Your favorite weekly sports podcast where three brothers-in-law are dumb enough to start a podcast, too stupid to stop after 27.
Oh, my God.
However you're listening, wherever you're listening, and however. No, I wrote that twice. Damn it.
You're doing great.
However you're listening, wherever, whenever you're listening, we cannot thank you enough for doing so. This show's blowing up like a Ford Pinto.
Ooh.
Yeah? We're writing stuff now, boys.
How
We're
old
writing
are we?
jokes.
So,
We just
so
dated
it's going to be
ourselves.
something that's like, oh, that's a little interesting, and then make fun of relentlessly for all the time.
Yep, you know the drill. We got a sports doc. I don't know what we're going to talk about. We got a squeeze of the week, big potato, our big topic of the day. We don't have picks this week. We will talk about that here. It's our in-between episode for the Super Bowl. Tune in next week where we are booking a special
Going
guest,
big.
potentially, boy. I'm going to introduce you guys real quick. It's been a while.
Oh,
A
wow.
little formal introductions.
Can't wait.
We got the Sultan of Sift, the tickler of taints, Hack Daddy himself, Juice Boy Joe. Welcome.
Puncher, not tickler. They were
Wow.
not-
Wow, that got
Oh, it was
real
Puncher. I'm
sexy real quick, didn't
I'm
it,
so
listener?
sorry.
Yeah, 'cause
And we
that's-
got
I
the
don't, I don't teach sexual things to my football players. I teach violence.
Hey,
and
teach their
aggression.
own. You don't know how they feel.
Depending
Also,
on what
we
you're
got-
into, sometimes violence is a sexual thing.
Ah, see?
God, no.
We're going to get Joey in trouble. And we got the Pulp. We got the Ad Man. We got the Cornhusker's Cornhusker, Mr. Chris Pelletier, ladies and gentlemen.
Cornhusker's
Beautiful.
Cornhusker.
And
I'm going to
I
husk so many corns.
am the loneliest turd, Cody.
Why are you lonely?
Wow.
And my team's going to the Super Bowl, bitches.
You're not lonely then, dude.
What a
You're a
good time to
49ers
be
fan?
me. What a good time to be me. Boys, how we doing? What are we consuming? What adult beverage do we have this week? Actually, Chris, go fuck yourself. Joey, you are first. What do you got, sir?
What just happened to Krills?
Because he's
I'm not
going to
fucking
say
myself,
strain
I
of
guess.
hands. Yeah, he's going to say strain of hands. We're going to move on.
I have this cool bottle right here, guys. It came in a tin. I got it from one of my buddies at work. He's a big Scotch fan. So this is called
It's awesome.
Jura or Jura? I don't know. It's Jura. So I don't know how you say it. But yeah,
How would you say
single
it?
malt. Oh, wow. Did you guys see that? Pulling off the lid. I just ripped my fingernail completely back. Oh. That's bleeding. Oh, Lordy. What just happened? Okay.
Pour some scotch on it.
Pour some scotch on it. Look at that. Look at that thing hanging.
Oh, that is actually.
Ouchies.
Yeah. All right. So, Jura, a rich and rounded balance of subtle smoky notes with a sweet
Tickle them nuts.
berry cask finish.
Ooh. Is this the
Scotch.
initial sip?
No, this is
Scotchy, Scotch.
I
No,
cracked it
that
this
bottle
way.
that bottle is almost empty.
There is
Yeah.
barely any left. Well, I would ask Chris what he's drinking, but I'm going to skip him and go to me.
Well, what about my beer chaser?
Oh, I'm so
Yeah, that's
sorry,
fine.
Joe. I jumped ahead.
My beer chaser.
What's your beer chaser?
One of my best beers in America by Bell's Brewery. Hard to find out in Colorado, so I was happy to get it. Two-Hearted American IPA. Phenomenal.
You've said
Bell's.
best beer in America a few times.
Not a bit, but this one actually is.
Oh, so we're lying.
Yeah, I was going to say that's like our 7th best beer in America.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to sell it, you know.
Oh.
Besides Jim Beam Black. I'm sorry, Jim Beam.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jim Beam
terrible
Black's
crash.
not known as one of the best beers in America.
No, it's not.
You know what I'm
Cody?
drinking, guys?
What are you
I'm
drinking?
drinking a little California blend red wine.
Oh,
Oh,
look
Oh
at you.
called
my
Baby
God.
Blue.
You have the
It's called
gall
Baby
to
Blue.
talk shit about my whiskey selection.
Listen, I'm diverse.
And you're
diversifying.
drinking wine.
Diversifying. We got a California blend. It's
Oh
part
my
Merlot,
God.
part Cab, part Malbec, part Syrah,
You always have been a wine guy.
part
And
Petit
100%
Verdot.
disappointing.
A little
Yeah.
Cab Franc up in there. It is excellent. It's a special bottle.
Chris, what are you drinking?
This
Elijah Craig. Okay, thank you, buddy. All right.
I broke into Joey's house and stole his personal bottle of Elijah Craig.
I was wondering what happened to that.
Yep. It's
Where'd
at my
that go?
house now.
Okay.
Thanks for playing the game, Chris. Thanks for showing up,
Hey, I'm here.
playing the game.
I'm here, clocking in, and I'm not drinking wine.
Joey's nail is actually
Look at
hanging
that chunk.
off.
I just ripped it off. That was a
Oh my
massive
God.
chunk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
dude, that was
just-
gross. Yeah.
Just went all
Thank
in
you.
on that, huh?
Thank you,
You're really
Jura.
working hard for the audience.
Yeah. So, boys, before we get started, I got a fun story this week. One of the most unique things that's ever happened to me in my job, and I wanted to say this to you because it's absolutely hilarious. So, one of the benefits of being an ass principal up in the mountains is that not only do you have to worry about normal things of what's going on in a school, you have to legitimately worry about pulling up to work at 6:45 in the morning and seeing a deer absolutely mutilated in the middle of where the kids have recess. So I go there and I see a
Excellent.
pile and it's a stomach, and then I go and find some more entrails, and then something that just looks like one of the most horrific murder scenes you have ever seen, and only the back half of the deer.
Oh,
So I call up Division of Wildlife. I send them pictures, and it was so gruesome. The guy's actual reaction on the text back was, "That's gross, LOL." Thank God I
Jeez.
already had my breakfast.
New guy's in the back puking his guts out.
yeah.
Yeah. So mountain kids are absolutely hilarious. We have these two enormous coyotes that we're looking at every single day. And sometimes we have to cancel recess because the coyotes are out there. And every time we say it, they just like say, "All right, guys, I'm sorry, we can't go outside today. There's coyotes." And then normally kids would be freaked out. Every single kid runs to the window. Awesome. So this time I said, "We can't have recess today." Why? Dead deer. Dead deer. Oh, what
Deer cut in
happened?
half.
What happened?
Mountain
Mountain
lion had
lions.
dinner. Yeah.
Mountain lions. And the kids are just, okay, all right. So I got access to the security footage, and we saw it was two mountain lions.
Oh.
Two mountain lions attacking this deer at 1 a.m. and spent the next 3 hours completely destroying our parking lot and where the kids have recess, and just left pieces of the deer everywhere.
A 3-hour dinner.
3 hours.
That's a
and
meal.
then-
That's a
then
meal.
our cook shows up at like 4:45. So just missed it.
So was it like a date for the mountain lions?
Sounds like it. Did the cooks at least take the back straps out of there and cook it for the children?
She did not even notice.
Ah,
Just drove right
Real
by.
missed
and we're like,
opportunity.
No,
yeah.
jeez, God bless.
What a
that
day.
is nuts.
What a day.
Wow, what a day.
Yeah.
What a day. All right, boys, let's jump into the sports docket. I wonder what we're talking about. Let's start with Lions and 49ers. The Lions, bless their heart, they blew the lead. I think it was 21-7, 24-7.
They're up by 17.
Few drops, a fumble. Dan Campbell doesn't like managing the clock very well. Where do you want to start with this one? What a
Doesn't
game,
like
first of all.
kicking field goals.
Doesn't like kicking field goals. Points are points, not to him. What do we think?
My heart goes out to Juice Junkie Kendall and the whole Lions Nation. Oh my gosh, it's just so heartbreaking to see them up by 17 and physically dominating that team in the first half, running all over them, just at will, dominating. Now, I know they got there by making those crazy decisions. They went for it on 4th down in the opponent's territory 20 times this season. They were 17 to 20. All right, that's it's pretty good.
Yeah,
But-
it's damn impressive.
But you don't do it when you have a lead and you have points on the board. You don't do-
Especially in the playoffs. Especially in the playoffs.
especially against the 49ers and the star power that they have. You see that like when they just want to turn it on, they can, and it's extremely frustrating, and they can do it. I thought that's so heartbreaking because that is how they won. That's how their team is. But I think at that point, you got to just get the points. You got to take the points. Because, I mean, even if they would have just had the second one, that touchdown with a minute left would have tied it. That would have been unbelievable.
Poor clock management. I think I'm okay with it going for it the first time, whatever. But the second time, when you can tie the ball game, you tie the ball game.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the second they
Absolutely.
scored after that, the 49ers, the ball game was over. And you're praying for stuff. Also, I've thought about this. MLB coaches or managers, they get paid to manage the rotation and the bullpen in the playoffs.
Yeah.
NBA coaches get paid to X's and O's, drop the big play in the fourth quarter, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
NFL coaches, they get paid to manage the clock. And Dan Campbell did not do a good job of managing the clock. ran the ball in that third down under 2 minutes, had to burn an extra timeout. I think Dan Campbell Dan Campbelled himself.
Just a heartbreaking way to end such a spectacular and impressive season. I mean,
Do you do what got you there? That's the big.
He's been doing it all season. He's been, he's the riverboat gambler, right? He's just always
He hits
putting
on
it all
18.
on the line.
He hits on 18, baby.
He hits on
No,
18, and he doesn't get why you won't.
No, that's exactly.
Yeah, that is his point. He just doesn't get why the people are like, what were you thinking? Now, I want to talk about his post game. Right? He went in there and he told the team this might have been their best shot, and they don't know how difficult it will be to get back. Why say that? Now, I know that he is like the master motivator and he knows what to say to his guys, but that just seems like an absolutely crushing thing to say to a team after they just blew a 17-point lead, to say, that was it. That was the best
And
shot that we
could
got
be it.
ever. And it's just like, I guess it worked because their offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I was going to say, all of a sudden Ben Johnson's coming back next season.
Didn't take the commander's job, and he's going to come back.
Goff has one more year on a cheap ass contract. I think about $25 million that contract with one more year on it.
That's cheap now. I can't believe that's considered cheap.
A lot of talent on there, but it's just I can't. He's 5 of those decisions away from being Brandon Staley and Chris questioning his employment.
Meanwhile, Brock Purdy is on food stamps.
$900,000 in San Francisco.
I mean, that's. I wish I made $900,000 in San Francisco. I'm just saying that.
Then you'd have to be in San Francisco.
That's true, but I don't.
He has a roommate and
I
a
don't feel
Toyota
bad
Sequoia.
Don't feel bad for $900,000. Cody, what makes me even more pissed off about this is the 49ers are so beatable. And it's just, oh my God, they should have lost to the Packers. They should have lost to the Lions. Now, does that mean that they're just really good?
That's what I was going to say. What route
It's
do you
easy
go?
to call them beatable as they are
Not
being beaten.
Are they the team of destiny that the Chiefs did the same thing and won a ring where they came back every time they were down? I don't know what to think about the 49ers, but in my mind, it's Mahomes versus Purdy. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl more next week, but thoughts on? I mean, San Francisco, you got to give them credit.
Absolutely. I mean,
they got
and
stops.
It's just, which version of Brock Purdy do you see show up in the Super Bowl? I mean, this was I think his best game professionally. He comes in.
Best half. That first half was not pretty.
Yeah, I suppose. So either way, though, I'll give him credit for the entire game because he kept them in, what wound up becoming striking distance. I think this is the first time to where I really went like, okay, look at him making reads. Look at him creating space with his legs. Look at him placing the ball right where it needs to be. Like, this was his coming out party of being a real NFL caliber talent quarterback. I'd love to see that become more consistent because that was extraordinarily impressive.
He went from game manager to playmaker in that second half.
Now, everybody says game manager. Do you know that, if you compile his stats for this season, he's gone over 5,000 yards, and he has 33 touchdowns.
That is several.
That's not really a game. That is unbelievable. I mean, he's only thrown. He finished the regular season 4,300 yards, 31 touchdowns, 11 picks. That's really good.
It's a hell of a season. Yeah.
I mean, 4,000 yards and 31 touchdowns is not a game manager. That's a really good quarterback.
I remember Chris saying Mr. Irrelevant is Mr. Irrelevant for a reason.
But I remember him. I remember me saying that, there's a reason that he was we'll see what the heck happens. I'm still 100% on team Brock Purdy. I love the storyline. I would love to see him continue to develop and create success because I think he's a great guy. I see the way that he played this weekend, and I would love to see more of that with more regularity.
Yeah, I mean, but he has his ups and downs, but the only thing that matters is what we just said. He wins games. The dude is a unbelievable winner. He's 17-4 in the regular season as a starter. I mean, you got to be kidding me. And then in the
only playoff game he's lost is when his elbow shattered, right?
Because he couldn't in the first
didn't
quarter.
play.
Yeah.
In the first quarter. So now he's 4-1.
And they put him back
in the playoffs. So the dude's 21-5 as a starting quarterback. That's absurd. That is absurd.
That's
21-5. Now, so I really don't think that even I'm blowing this dude up right now, but I don't think that he's even going to be the X factor of this game. The X factor of the game is going to be Chris Jones and Donovan Smith. Sorry, because Chris Jones is going to need to get that pressure, and Donovan Smith is going to need to stop Nick Bosa. If Chris Jones can dominate and they could stop Bosa, then the game's going to be one in the trenches with this game 100%. And Isaiah Pacheco might be a problem.
Him and McCaffrey. Oh, it's going to be a hell of a Super Bowl. Let's not shoot our wad here, boys. We got a whole week next week to talk about the Super Bowl. Should we get into the greatest game?
I think we talked about the only NFL games that mattered.
Of substance, of importance.
You're going to do that to me?
Yes. Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Kansas City Chiefs going back to the Super Bowl 4 out of 5 years. God is good, boys. God is good.
I'm gonna take a nap.
Not to Lamar, not to the Ravens.
Not to Lamar, the number one ranked in everything, best defense the world has ever seen. Lamar getting a second MVP.
The defense still played outstanding.
You want to know
gave him the
what's
opportunity.
nice? What's nice about having a smaller podcast? You can say Roquan Smith is a bitch. Patrick Queen is a bitch. You know what? You know what it was like
No, they
watching
are
those
not.
two?
They only scored 17 points. They scored 0 points in the second half.
You know what the better defense was? The team giving up 4 points in the last 8 weeks in the second half. Oh my gosh.
I
Here
know,
we go,
but
boys. I wrote some things down. I'm going to take this.
Go, McCoy.
Text me when you're done.
Yeah.
Okay, the Ravens had this whole thing wrong. They were trying to go in and play bully ball against a team that's been there and done that. Doesn't give two shits if you're trying to be the bully. And they focused on it too hard, and they got 4 or 5.
Taunting.
Yeah, taunting. It was just.
Oh my
it was
God.
so
Zay
immature.
Flowers, that was
so ridiculous.
That was so dumb, Zay Flowers.
I listened to last week. Joey said Zay Flowers has to make a play. He did. And
At least he followed it up with an even dumber play.
Yeah.
You know, really
Big
gave you the
notable
one,
plays. That is a point.
gave you the 1-2 punch.
Big notable. But it just, they were immature. They were not disciplined, which is very weird for John Harbaugh. Also, the Ravens, they ran the ball 6 times. They were the number 1 rushing attempt team
cannot
in the
believe
NFL.
That is absolutely
It's
that
ridiculous.
is shocking. I heard people say that the other day. I was like, what?
6 times. They dropped back, Joey. 82% of the time they dropped back.
Now, you know what's absurd about that, though? What's absurd? They still had 81 yards rushing. So it's just like and the Chiefs only had 89.
Gus Edwards had 1 single carry in the first half for 15 yards, and
they cut
I
him
know,
off.
so why not stay with it?
That's enough out of him.
The OC, you know what? I've had a developing theory. I think this Patrick Mahomes effect is growing. Because they said Lamar Jackson wants the ball in his hands. He wants to make plays. He wants to do it. I think they signed off on him trying to keep up with Mahomes instead of playing the Ravens game, which is run the ball down their throat, stop them on defense. But they did the same. It's like the Bills did on the drive. They shit their pants. They knew Mahomes had two timeouts to go get 3. I think John Harbaugh signed off on a bad game plan of dropping back 82% of the time, over trusting his MVP, trying to get him on kind of Mount Mahomes here.
Cody, I was talking to your former neighbor at the gym earlier this week, and I was like, it's like they woke up and they went, oh, shit. Lamar, you're now Josh Allen circa 2019, and we are basing our entire offensive plan around the fact that you just suddenly have nothing but a cannon to offer.
Yeah, which it was so weird. We have 2 all-pro cornerbacks. I also read he had 3.3 seconds every time he dropped back. That is the most time Lamar has had the entire season. So I think we can put to rest that he is some insane he's a great generational quarterback, but he is not Tom Brady. He's not going to kill you from the pocket. Also,
no, that's never been his game, and that's why
it shouldn't be
so much that they only had 6. Now they had 16 total rushes for the game, but only 6 in the second half. And
how many designed Lamar runs were there? Was that 4th and 1?
He had 8 carries for 54 yards, and so I mean, even with that, run him 16 times.
Yeah,
just like he was averaging 6.8 yards that he touched the ball. That's insane. Why stop?
Yeah, the game plan was, let's just outsmart ourselves. Hey, they're going to expect us to lean into, that thing that led us here.
Yeah, that's exactly
what if we did the opposite of that?
And I think it's the Patrick Mahomes effect. that they're like, I want my guy to keep up with the other great guy. Let's show everyone how he does it, and then he can't do it.
So Stephen A was saying today was just saying that Lamar choked, and he's saying the definition of a choke job is.
Hey, look at that. That broken clock is right.
So the definition of choke is exactly what you just said. Doing the exact same thing every single time and then completely abandoning it. And so it was just like they got there on a specific game plan, dominating everyone physically.
I just don't get
And they just
changed.
stopped. And it's just like that's unbelievable. Makes me so damn angry because both of these teams that lost have just got to have the most unbelievable regret for this game because this was it. If there was ever a time to beat the damn Chiefs, it was Josh Allen last week. All right, and it was definitely Lamar this week in Baltimore. Oh my God!
But you have to agree. From the first snap, it was a different game. The Lions had the lead. From the first snap, the Chiefs were on a different world. They were the physicality, the speed. They set a different tone. I just laughed that the Ravens were trying to be the bullies, and we didn't give two shits.
No,
they were just so. It was also Travis Kelce surpassed Jerry Rice.
Who?
I don't see Gronk passing no Jerry Rice for nothing.
and Jerry
pretty
Rice
good.
in what? What did he pass him in?
Most playoff catches in history.
That's impressive.
Receptions. Yes, it
That's
is.
impressive.
Yes, it is, Joe.
Yeah.
Also, 0 drops.
Thank
MVS
you
is
for pointing
him,
that
Chris.
out.
MVS is him.
No,
He's
he's
not.
not.
So
Oh
my
my
He had
God.
2 catches. 2.
He had the catch.
So it makes you
he
him?
fell on
So
his
David,
ass.
David Tyree
Yes.
is him
Is
after
him,
the
yes.
helmet catch when he never played in the NFL
Got him a
again.
Super Bowl, baby.
He is. That's not him.
If the Chiefs can win the Super Bowl, they will finish the greatest 5-year run in NFL history.
Cody, what are you talking about?
Joe, you're wrong. Go look up.
What did we
look
just
it up.
witness happen? The
Go look it
Patriots won 23 consecutive games. At one point.
5-year run.
I know, but in that 5-year run, they won 3 Super Bowls as well.
All the stats
So
are the
what are you
Chiefs. If they
talking
win the
about?
Super Bowl, they'll have
Yeah,
to
but
say,
they-
"Oh,
they
you-
haven't.
You are
They
wrong,
haven't
sir."
yet. They have not yet.
We're not there. We're not there.
They're not. You are not there, and you're not going to get there because even if you win this one, McCoy, you still have 4 freaking more to catch Tom Brady. 4 more, dude.
Are you a
So
Patriot
good
fan or a
luck.
Tom Brady fan?
Tom Brady fan. We've gone over this several times.
He has been
Patriot
rock
fans have
solid
been-
consistent on that one.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Thank you. Yeah.
Patriot
known
fans
Joey
are
a
claiming
while.
that 7th ring right there. All over the internet, they're claiming
No.
the 7th ring.
I said until you catch Tom Brady. You have 3 more to catch the Patriots. You got to
You're
catch
correct.
Tom Brady.
Very much correct.
Well, actually, no, because he already had Super Bowl 4, whatever the fuck that was. But you
Boys, oh, what a glorious
know how to
time.
piss off 2/3 of this podcast? Let's do what McCoy just did right there.
Oh, there's just so much. Oh, Patrick Mahomes is so
man.
good. Kelsey is so. I just could talk for hours. Let's jump into as football wraps up.
You
We gotta
have.
brush off
Yeah.
some other sports guys. So we'll do a quick hit on this one.
What's an other sport?
I know we got to.
We got to start thinking about that now because damn.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're not only football things happening.
Let's brush this off with one this group mutually hates. Joel Embiid, also a bitch.
To,
Guys, do you
to
wanna
the
know the
level that
last-
he's being investigated by the NBA.
That is
That's
very
how-
true. That is
Can you guys
absolutely
guess?
phenomenal.
Can you guys guess the last time Joel Embiid played a game in Denver? And all the backstory here is Nuggets just played the 76ers. In Denver, Joel Embiid did not play. The NBA is investigating the 76ers for
Yes.
not playing. Can you guys guess the last time Embiid played in Denver?
Let's see, 2020.
I'm going to say 2018. No, it's 2024. 2019. I'm going to say 5 years ago.
Joey, correct. He last played
Ooh.
11/8/2019. Since then, for those following, there was a
Oh, that was
pandemic.
basically 2020.
Pandemic. A lot of things have happened since 2019.
This is just this makes me so happy and so angry at the same time. The best thing about this was what it did to his MVP odds. Did you see this? So after he scored 70 points, right? And that was January 22nd. So 8 days ago, he was minus 115 favorite to win MVP. Now he's plus 450
You want to know why?
because he's a bitch.
Yeah, because he shies away from any actual competition. He dropped 70 on
San Antonio.
on
San Antonio.
Was it
on
really?
nobody.
It was on San Antonio. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
San Antonio,
some
who is third from last place, or at least was at the time, San Antonio. He can get the job done when it's against a team that is languishing at the bottom, but when he's got to go up against a contender, all of a sudden he has just some random injury that he just can't play through.
And they had to double down
So
because it was a back-to-back. So they had to take him out the game after that to
Yep.
make sure it wasn't really sketchy that he didn't play. They
He
called
was
it knee soreness.
not listed on the injury report up until the game, and he did not even come out until 8 minutes into the game, and then he was wearing street clothes. Everybody was just like, "What the hell?" This was a marquee game once again. He is just chickening his way out of any time to play Jokic because Jokic is going to dominate him. Like he won't go against him. Now you can go in Philly when the Philly fans will at the point where you're afraid for your freaking life, but Jokic also doesn't care. And then next time you go to Philly, bring your brothers. All right, let's do this. Bring your brothers to Philly and let's have a freaking showdown. All right,
sounds terrifying.
Let's see how tough Joel Embiid is at his house. You can't walk away anymore. I would say I want it to be a Nuggets Sixers final, but I don't want the freaking Sixers to make it.
And they won't make it.
They won't do it. Boston's humming right now. They're absolutely killing everybody. Besides the Nuggets. The Nuggets beat them on a marquee game last Saturday. All right, and this other one was supposed to be the next big marquee matchup, and he pussed out.
And Embiid can only miss 6 more games before he loses eligibility to be the MVP, which is a new rule the NBA finally implemented.
Thank God, and that is definitely going to happen.
Oh, I will laugh.
6 games.
That'd be amazing.
And then they're going to say that he's so fatigued, and that's what his stats are going to go down because he can't sit out games. And then what does Jokic do? Just steamrolls his way to
just
what should
continue
be
to
his
dominate.
4th consecutive MVP. He just passed Michael Jordan as the most efficient player, and by player efficiency rating for a career in NBA history. He is number 1. The most
Jokic
efficient
is a Honda
player.
Accord 4-cylinder. It just goes up and down the court. Same pace.
I think
Put
he's like
300,000 miles on it.
I was going to say that makes it seem like it's average, like it's like a standard thing. He is putting up numbers never seen before.
Honda
He's
Accord,
like the
one of the greatest
OG
cars ever made.
U.S. Army.
Yeah, but there are a
World War
shitload of
II
them.
World War II Jeep, like just getting dropped out of planes and just into Germany and just driving through lakes and and rivers. And just you can't stop it. It just dominates you can't. A Honda Accord's a terrible analogy.
I love Honda Accords.
I
The
do
other
too,
day-
but
The other day
plays
in
like a
traffic,
Honda
I got
Accord.
passed by about a 2003 Honda Accord with the giant Fast and the Furious spoiler and the cutoff muffler.
circa 2004.
That's exactly what Cody McCoy envisions when he thinks of his dream car.
Oh, I remember high school. Everybody putting freaking spoilers and crap on there. It was so fun.
I had a 92 Honda
fantastic.
Accord with no right view mirror.
No, they didn't. They didn't make them back.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was
It
an
had
add-on.
a lot of things you would expect
Yeah.
a car to have.
Yeah, it was an add-on that my grandpa said he was too cheap to add the extra mirror.
Who has that car now?
I don't know where it's.
Oh, I thought you guys still kept it. I was
R.I.P.
hoping you would still. That thing's never going to stop running.
And that down to the baby McCoy.
It's like my old truck,
gosh.
Phil, rolled down my driveway, took out 2 trees. I had to sawzall off the muffler, then pushed it back on its wheels and drove it for another 5 years. No analog brakes, no emergency brake. The windows didn't work. No heat, no electricity. No, it certainly had electricity, but no.
I was going to say, how did it turn on?
Yeah.
Had a radio. The radio never stopped working. So
Well, we're brushing off our NBA chops. We'll talk about the Super Bowl next week, but that'll do it for Sports Talk and Music Break.
Oh, music break.
All right, boys, we are so back. Squeeze of the week. This is our segment where we give you a little airtime for your most outlandish takes. We love a split, Jerry, here on the Juice Boys show. Looks like I'm the
I think
only
you're
one.
going to have one.
I think I'm the only one today. I wonder what it could be about. I had another developing theory back in the day about the Chiefs being like the 90s Bulls,
then I hated it.
which I stand more by now than ever before. Since then, Rich Eisen has made the same comparison. He ought to know something. Colin Cowherd made the same comparison here recently, too. People who get paid money to do this shit are trying to be like Cody. Can you believe that?
Stephen A. Smith also gets paid money to do this shit.
He gets paid a lot of money. His contract, it might be like $20 million a year. His new
Apparently,
contract.
he's dating Molly Karam now, the host of First Date. I was like, the host of First
What?
Date. Her and Jalen Rose got divorced. Apparently, they're dating now. I was like, what?
Wait, she was married to
is
Jalen
the
Rose?
Oh yeah, for years. Yeah.
Wow.
I cannot.
How do you know
You know a lot about these people's personal lives.
How do you know that? I did not.
You ask me that all the time. I don't know how I know things. I just know.
He just
It's
It's
a
a
does.
disease.
The knowledge finds him. Okay.
I think you guys, I might actually agree with this. So it's based in this universe
Doubt
that
it.
the Chiefs are the 90s Bulls. Pat Mahomes is obviously
Okay,
Michael
so
Jordan.
we already functionally disagree.
Andy Reid is Phil Jackson. Scottie Pippen is Travis Kelce. We got Chris Jones in there. Like we got
No,
Dennis.
but they don't
the whole
all
thing.
hate each other.
Well, you got to wait 30 years for that to happen. At the time, they loved each other. So it's 1993. I don't know. Did they?
Yeah, I was gonna say not really.
I mean, winning fixes a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. 1993. Who wins the NBA MVP, Chris?
Oh come on, ask me.
Pass.
Joey,
Take a
who
guess.
wins the
take a
MVP?
guess? Take a
Who
guess.
wins the MVP in
Why
1993?
even, why even have me take a swing?
Because you love him.
Joey knows it.
No. Yeah, I want you to answer.
Yeah, because you love him. He's been a frequent person on this show.
Is it Barkley?
Yeah,
It's
Christopher.
Charles
Hey.
Barkley. Yeah.
Christopher.
I still want to pass. Joey, will you tell me who won the MVP in
Search
1993?
Sir Charles Barkley. Sir Charles.
Oh my God, he's cool. I like
1993.
him.
He
I like
wins.
that. We just post on Instagram. Check it out. Sweet.
yeah, go check
Top
it out.
Plays of Charles Barkley as a Sixer. It was a freak.
A mammoth. So he wins the MVP for Phoenix. They go to the NBA Finals. Who wins? Michael Jordan, the Bulls. Who should have won the MVP? Probably Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Let's compare that to this year's Chiefs and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Here's what it is. Lamar Jackson is the Charles Barkley of the year when we all know Patrick
Because they
Mahomes
both
is
wear
the
purple. I'm with you.
But that's it was a little smaller squeeze, but Lamar and Barkley, this is like the 93 NBA season. We all know who really is the best player in the league. And Mike Greenberg said this, 2 years ago, Joe? You sent me that video. It's just Patrick Mahomes should win every year. He's not going to win because it's not really the storyline or the narrative. Lamar Jackson is the Charles Barkley of 1993. Jordan, Pat Mahomes. That's my squeeze.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you the first time that you said it. The Jordan of the 90s was something that was like absolutely monumental. Like, I know the Travis Kelce.
Pat Mahomes is not monumental. This is what you're saying.
In Kansas City, yes. Now,
What?
is Patrick Mahomes going to be able to go to Prague, Czechoslovakia, or whatever the hell it's called now, Czechia, and be able to walk the streets and be absolutely being mugged by every single person there? No.
Point.
And Michael Jordan was. Michael Jordan had to have personal
could
security
literally
following
get
him
mugged
every
there.
single every single place that he went. I know that you are really excited about your Chiefs, but the 90s Bulls are a level of stardom that I don't think will ever be touched. I mean, you got to think the New York Yankees with Derek Jeter weren't as popular as him, and that's in New York. In baseball, which is a world game, which it really wasn't that big around the world in the 90s.
But Derek Jeter was never the face of the league.
But he's facing the Yankees.
Yeah.
So
This guy's the face of the Mahomes is the face of the league. He might have 3 rings before anyone. He's developing the Michael Jordan thing. No one's gonna get a ring when Patrick Mahomes is in the league. Chris, what do you got? Bring it on. Let's go.
I've been napping.
Oh,
What are we talking about?
about how they're not as good or as
Worse.
popular as the 90s Bulls. But
it was more that Barkley Lamar was the take. I was trying to set.
I know you're looking for an argument, so I'd rather just give you nothing.
Okay.
I feel like that
That's why
upsets
people
you
tune
more.
into this show. It's for nothing.
Yeah,
as I'll
no,
say
I mean,
again,
it's one of those where like, I mean, yeah, the 90s Bulls were a worldwide phenomenon that has not been matched in sports since, and I'm sorry, is not being matched.
Hold on. My
If you wanna
squeeze was the
compare-
Lamar Barkley. I was also setting the stage on the.
get to 10 Super Bowls and we'll talk, McCoy. Get to 10 and we'll talk.
Charles
talking
Barkley, somebody who never won a ring. Like, is your squeeze that Lamar will never win a ring?
No, Lamar's going to win the MVP, just like Barkley won the MVP. That does not mean he's the best player in the league, in the world, It's the same thing. Everyone knew Michael Jordan was still the best player in the world, even though Barkley got the ring. Everyone knows Pat Mahomes is the best player in the world. Lamar gets the ring.
I get that, but I still disagree with you on the 90s Bulls.
The squeeze is full of holes.
You're full of holes. Joey.
Several.
If people want to submit their own squeezes of the week, how can they do so?
Listeners, this is another call out. All right, I'm challenging you to make a squeeze, take a rebuttal, talk shit on the Chiefs. All right, send in your most outlandish sports takes by emailing us at juiceboyshow@gmail.com. Send us a DM on Instagram at juiceboyshow. And if it has the pulp, we will read it and debate it. And if it was like Cody's last take, rip it to shreds on the show.
I think I did okay. Sorry, I'm chewing my Valentine's.
I think
In your opinion, you did okay?
Yeah.
All right, listener, let's see. How did
I
Cody
agree
do?
with my squeeze.
Yeah, how did Cody do?
The thing that I came up with.
Correct.
Chris!
God bless Taylor Swift.
Yeah, buddy.
Who's sponsoring today's show?
My fellow Americans. Now, I know you've heard a lot of doom and gloom about this year's presidential election, but we here at the Juice Boys Show are proud to tell you about the presidential campaign of our dearest third turd, Mr. Cody McCoy,
Yes, sir.
a presidential candidate you can believe in. No, we here at the Juice Boys Show. Sorry, what?
In 2032, he's not 35 years old.
He is 72 at heart, so that averages out just fine.
A lot of holes in this,
make it-
Chris.
we'll make it
A lot of
work.
holes in this, Chris. A lot of holes.
Yeah. I'm not good at math.
Okay.
Also, you tell me, you're the one running the goddamn election campaign.
This is your fault.
Yeah,
Oh.
you act like
Yeah.
I wanted this. You paid me a bunch of money to write this ad. Now, will you let me read it?
That's my team.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Continue.
So we know you've heard a lot of promises coming from the Linehan for President camp about Tom Brady statues as tall as buildings
Yes.
and illegal Jets fandom.
Yes.
And sure, Mr. Linehan may have a good chunk of the East Coast locked up, but what about the rest of the country? That's where Cody McCoy steps in, emerging from the Midwest like a phoenix rising from the ashes of a downtown Kansas City trash fire, ready to steer this great country in a new direction. And the first direction Cody is given is that the Monday after the AFC Championship will be a national holiday for as long as Patrick Mahomes is starting in KC. Also, on a completely unrelated note, Cody has also promised to utilize his first day in office to nuke Mile High Stadium as a show of force.
That's fair.
Cody has
getting old.
also promised to socialize the beer cart at all municipal golf courses as part of his new economic growth plan. And in an effort to lock up that ever important Swiftie vote, McCoy for president will be giving away 1,000 free tickets to Taylor and Travis's wedding at Arrowhead in 2025.
Me and my wife just talked about. I wonder if they would do that.
That would
If
be the
these
most
promises-
ridiculous. Okay, sorry.
It'd be so ridiculous.
Hi, what are we doing? Hi, how's it going?
Sorry. Ad, continue.
Mr. Linehan is trying to disrupt this presidential campaign ad, and
Election fraud.
we here at Juice Boys Show run a tight ship.
Hot show.
If these promises sound as enticing to you as they do to old McCoy himself, make sure you vote Cody McCoy this November, and let's all make America Kansas City.
Oh,
Cody, you got to hit me with a line.
I'm Cody, and I approve this message.
What a
Did you see-
train wreck.
Do you see Taylor Swift and Kelsey said I love you?
No,
my
why would I
God,
have
yeah.
seen that?
Who
In what
cares?
world would I have seen that?
Your algorithms aren't just feeding you this stuff? Oh,
what? Are you telling me they've been dating for this long and they haven't said that yet?
they did. I mean, the world just finally got to see.
You mean their publicist released a statement letting people know that they had told one another they loved each other?
No. It was caught on
In
film.
this very
It was
real,
a beautiful moment.
this
Beautiful
very
moment.
legitimate
This is
relationship.
appalling.
From the greatest tight end of all time.
What-
Okay,
what
absolutely
moving
not.
on.
PR
What
move.
happened to this show? What happened?
We made it to 27 and
show,
we're crashing and burning, baby.
What happened to my score?
We're not hitting
All right.
30. Hop
Boys,
on quick, listener. This is derailing.
Bigger than a
Other than
pinto.
Cody's twig and berries in his own throat.
Yeah.
It's warmed up here, so it's got a
for the love
big
of the game.
potato, guys. I thought about this. The big potato. This is in the middle of the show. This is the meat and potatoes of the show.
Trying real hard here.
Yeah. We needed
my
to
God.
justify the name. Is this a good?
Half a year later, there we go. We figured
man.
it out.
That was actually one of my favorite things about doing the tape room. You know, going back and listening to the first 10 episodes of you trying to force feed it, calling it the tot. And I think I was the one who you called it a big tot, and I was like, wouldn't that just be a potato? And then Joey and I just force fed back to you calling it a potato, and you just over and over again trying to rectify. I swear, listener, we're going to come up with a better name for this. We're still workshopping this. Let us know if you have anything else. Just trying your best to fight against the inevitability of the potato.
And here we are. The meat and
now here we
potatoes
go.
of the show, our big topic of the day. Listener submitted, Chris. This is from our Lewis.
Yeah, this is from listener Lewis. Do you want to introduce it?
Go for it. Let's change it up. Let's spice things up.
Yeah, biggest busts in draft history of just any sport. So let's let McCoy go first. He never gets to go first. And I know Joey's got 14 that he wants to bring us up to speed on. So he's batting clean up here.
All right, I'm starting us off with one of my favorite college basketball players. He had one of the greatest mustaches I've ever seen.
Oh,
He had one of the greasiest hairdos I have ever seen. He swore he didn't shower in between games. Do you know what I'm talking about, Joe? Do you know where I'm going?
oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Adam Morrison.
Nice.
He played for Gonzaga. He was really the guy who put Gonzaga on the map. He averaged 20 points a game in college, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He shot 50% from the field.
He was a freak.
He was incredible.
He
It was
just
him
played
and J.J. Redick
so
were the
hard.
two best college players I've probably ever seen in my lifetime. They were both going at it. J.J. Redick at Duke, Gonzaga with Adam Morrison.
And you had
Adam
Tyler
Morrison
Hansborough
drafted.
thrown in there too at the same time.
Was that the
Those
same
guys-
time? What?
Yeah, with Reddick. I mean, they were just going at it.
Yep. So Adam Morrison, I would go look up a picture of him. Hell, maybe we'll make him the cover art this week. 3rd overall pick for the Charlotte Hornets. At that point was the Charlotte. Chris?
Bobcats.
Hey, we got
Nice.
it.
There
We're gonna
you
get it.
go.
Nailed it. Charles
3rd overall pick
Barkley
for
Bobcats.
Charlotte Bobcats. It was actually the right pick at the time, and he did literally nothing after that. I didn't know. Fun fact: he had diabetes, and he could not.
Why is that
get-
fun?
What about that is fun?
That's not a fun fact.
That's okay. I have a worse fun fact in
Adam,
mind.
I apologize, but I didn't know he found it difficult to manage his condition with the 82 game schedule. He also got hurt a ton. He averaged only 11 points his rookie season and really never got back. And he was out of the season or out of the NBA after 161 games. He was so fun in college. He was electric. Puts Gonzaga on the maps.
Do you know what a mustache is supposed to look like?
This was a
Because you
thin
said he
one.
was a good mustache, and it is disgusting.
It was iconic.
It is. It's only iconic because I didn't know if it was hair or dirt. You know, it was like the guy. He was so nasty, so
You say
nasty.
iconic
Look at him, he's
mustache.
39 years old now.
I think Drew Timmy. You know,
That
if
is
we're
a
talking Zags, if
mustache.
we're talking mustache, I
a good way
mean,
to
That's
put
a
it.
mustache.
come
No,
on now.
Adam Morrison only played 161 games in his career.
Yep. Also
And
ran into
that's-
some injuries
that's-
too,
that's-
but
that's
JJ
so-
Redick was worth the pick. Adam Morrison was not. He was so good. I really enjoyed watching him, and just ended up being a very large bust for a young Bobcat franchise who really needed him, and he fell way short. That's my first.
All right, I'm going to piggyback off of your NBA pick, and I'm going to do another NBA pick.
Ooh.
And I'm going to go with what I think is the worst pick in NBA draft history. And I'm not going to say Sam Bowie because Sam Bowie was actually a good basketball player when he was in college at Kentucky. I'm going to
Bennett?
go with the second overall pick in the 2003 draft
Oh, I was looking
of
at that.
Darko Milicic.
Oh,
All right, Darko Milicic. Now, why this is such a horrible pick is because he's a European player, and at that time they were very, very unproven. Right? Yeah, you had Dirk coming in, but Dirk was obviously all time,
Everyone was looking for the next Dirk.
all time.
yeah,
great
everybody
that's
wants the
ever
next
happened.
Dirk. They still want the
Pa-
next Dirk.
Yeah,
Dirk.
Peja Stojakovic was pretty good at this time, but there were so many players
Peja.
around this era that just completely washed out, like Andrea Bagnani and like Nicolas Skidishvili, Darko
Obviously.
Milicic. Yeah, exactly. Now, Darko Milicic, what also makes this such a horrible, horrible bust is who else was picked in the 2003 NBA draft? Number 1 pick was LeBron James. Okay.
Pretty good.
Number 3, Carmelo Anthony. Number
Pretty good.
4, Chris Bosh. And number 5, Dwayne Wade.
Number
And
6,
those were in order. Those were the picks. Number 2, Darko Milicic. Could you imagine if he went to the Pistons? If Carmelo Anthony went to the Pistons, I mean, that would have been. He would have joined an already really good team with Rip Hamilton. The reason they had that pick was because of a trade. All right, so he's in 2003. They were already really good. They won a finals in 04, beating the Lakers. So I mean, adding Carmelo to that team would have been incredible. But no, they picked Darko. Darko played 468 games. So he ended up having like a pretty extensive NBA career. But
6 points a game.
6 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist.
So Chris Kaman had a great NBA career.
Chris Kaman, but he's so ugly.
No,
That's just so unbelievably ugly.
That doesn't affect your draft status.
I know, but
That's what we're here to talk about.
You couldn't pick him, dude. It was like,
But he had a great career.
What happened to you?
Who else? Kirk Heinrich was in this draft. Nick Collison had a good career.
Yeah.
David West had a great career.
A great player. Boris Diaw, is he still playing?
Probably. Kendrick Perkins.
Kendrick Perkins, who was on ESPN, and he's like, I'm a grown man of 31 years old. Like, you look like you're 70.
Barbosa was great. Josh Howard was great. Who else is in here? Matt Bonner was in there. Oh, Matt Bonner. He's sitting in the corner wearing New Balance.
Mo Williams, great. Kyle Korver was the 51st pick in that draft. So,
good old Creighton boy.
Yeah, good Creighton boy. But no, Darko.
Oh, you could have thrown a dart and gotten anyone
beautiful. I'm going to take it in a little darker route.
Ooh.
Let's go with the 6th overall pick in the 1996 NFL draft, Lawrence Phillips of Nebraska.
Oh, I was wondering if you were going to take him.
Cornhuskers.
What a...
It's.
I mean, that's the thing is like Tom Osborne was known for, being pretty loose with the rules as far as recruiting and behavioral issues off the field, those sorts of things. He ran a tight ship on the field, but was pretty willing to look the other way on some folks. And Lawrence Phillips, despite being a incredible talent at running back, still managed to get suspended at Nebraska due to his off the field issues. He wound up being picked up by the Rams in the first round of the 1996 draft. They were so confident in him, they traded away Jerome Bettis.
Oh, Lord.
To make space for him. Yeah. He wound up not even playing 2 full seasons before he was cut by the Rams due to his off-field poor decision-making, which then eventually resulted in him getting arrested and sentenced to 31 years in prison.
It was very poor decision-making.
Very, very poor decision-making. Yeah, and that's the thing is like, in today's day and age, like no one would have touched him. No one would have, he would have fallen. But to go 6th because the Rams think that somehow these awful allegations of you being an assaultive piece of shit would somehow not follow you to St. Louis, like, yeah, unbelievable.
Isn't he dead?
He did take his own life in prison.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Yep. After his cellmate was found dead, they thought that he was responsible for that, and so he.
And were they right?
Chris took it dark, and Joey took it darker.
Well,
yeah.
Sorry,
I was trying to let that not need to be talked about.
Oh boy, I'm gonna keep it darker.
What is going on today?
You can get darker than that story?
There's a little more humor in this. Do you guys know Art Schlichter?
What? I doubt you're saying that one more time. But
Schlichter?
Art
Schlichter.
Schlichter.
Yeah.
Schlichter.
You guys know him?
So
good old Art. Let's just call him Art.
We'll call him Artie.
Tell us about
Art Schlichter.
Here we go. He was an Ohio State quarterback in the 80s, a star. drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals, 4th overall in 1982. Only played 13 games in his entire career in the NFL.
Wow.
He was named the number 4 bust in the biggest quarterback bust of all time. A lot of things happened. He's been to jail a few times, fellas.
Okay.
He had one
Tell us
instance.
about it.
He had one instant where he was running a massive ticket scheme and where he was promising college and NFL game tickets to buyers and never delivering the tickets despite taking payment. There's one. He was sentenced and released on bond there. While he was in jail, his bond was revoked due to drug use, which is crazy. He was testing positive for cocaine twice and refused to give pee samples in jail. Wow. Okay.
You can do that?
I didn't know that you could do that.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, like how are you going to keep them from having access to your pee?
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
This is my favorite part. He was also caught betting with other inmates. Officials found out through emails and phones. And as soon as he was about to get out, and he was caught making bets on the outside for him with his girlfriend and other inmates. So they're making legal bets on the outside. He lost hundreds of thousands of dollars gambling. He was getting bets in for his inmate friends and himself on the outside. Was thrown back in jail. Just
What the hell? He was the 4th overall pick in the draft.
He
What a
served about
disaster.
10 to 15 years in jail. The fraud charge is related to a massive ticket scheme that millions of dollars from his victim. So
Listen to this.
oh my
Listen to this
God.
dude's. Listen to this
Wow.
dude's career stat line. He was 0-6 as a starter with a 45% completion percentage,
You're doing
3
great, Art.
touchdowns, and 11 picks, with only
love
1,000 yards, only 1,006 yards in his career. Oh my God!
the man
that
liked
is,
cocaine and gambling. Wow. Good on Artie.
God.
Good on Artie. He did serve his prison time and is now a free man in the last
Oh, he did.
2
They
years.
they
Yep.
left it up to him, and he made the call.
He did it.
Yep.
Yeah, so he did. It's like I choose this time. All right, so for my next pick, this one's going to be a kind of a combo,
Of
pick.
course it is.
And I'm going to go any Bengals first round pick prior to Joe Burrow. Specific. Now, if you go back and you actually take a look at what an absolute train wreck of a franchise the Cincinnati Bengals were in the 1990s, it's appalling. They had back-to-back first overall picks in 94 and 95. They took Dan Wilkinson, a really good, unbelievable player out of Ohio State, and the number 1 overall D tackle, mind you. It's pretty rare to take a D tackle number 1 overall. Right,
a big
the guy
fat guy in the
played.
middle.
Not
guy ended
anymore.
up playing 12 years, never made a Pro Bowl. Next year, they traded up to get this guy.
Another
In
tackle.
the name of Keyjana Carter.
That's right.
All right. Keyjana Carter out of Penn State was the most highly touted running back in the league. Sorry, in college football. Traded up to get him number 1 overall. What did he ended up doing for his career? 1,144 yards. Yeah,
It's a solid season.
that's the solid season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How long
solid
was his
season.
career?
Like 3 years. So not very good. Okay.
Good.
After that, they go and they draft a guy named Reinard Wilson. Good job.
Look at old Reinard. Yeah.
After that, they get the 3rd overall pick in 99 and they pick Achilles Smith. Okay. Achilles Smith out of Oregon, who was dominating in the Pac-12, Pac-10.
Like
back in
Achilles,
the
like
times.
the
Yeah, I
Greek
feel like that name is a dead giveaway to what's going to happen here.
Yeah. Achilles Smith.
with an S on the end or just Achilles?
Achilles.
Whoa. Okay.
Achilles Smith. All right. Achilles Smith, what did he do?
Okay.
2,212 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 13 picks. All right. The next year, the 4th overall pick, they take Peter Warwick, the kick returner out of Florida State. He lasted only a couple of years. They snuck out a pretty good pick with Carson Palmer. All right. But after that, I want to say they only had one, besides Carson Palmer and AJ Green, they had 0 Pro Bowl first round picks from 1990 until Joe Burrow in 2020. That's
Beautiful.
not good.
Fellas, listener, I got to go with my best friend, Johnny Manziel.
Legend.
You know, I talked about him actually a couple of weeks ago when we were doing the potato on the athletes that you would want to go out with for a night.
Yeah.
And I realized immediately after recording that, I did a really piss poor job of setting up the entire story around that me, Johnny Manziel, and our other best friend, Andre the Giant, were going out in disguises. I forgot to mention that was a true story. Johnny Manziel, the Saturday before he was supposed to play a divisional game for the Cleveland Browns against the Pittsburgh Steelers, instead flew his happy ass to Vegas, put himself in a costume, and was photographed. What was seen?
Like, it was a legitimate fake mustache.
Yeah, what was
No
seen
joke.
in Vegas, dressed in a ridiculous costume, but still surrounded by his buddies, and then covered it up by posting a picture of he and his dog and geotagged himself in Cleveland, thinking that was going to be enough. And didn't go to bed until 5 a.m. when he was supposed to report for the game at 8 a.m. and went to bed and just went, I'll figure that out later.
Jeez,
So Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, was drafted, was a Heisman winner, and he was expected to be a generational talent at quarterback, but his problematic decision making, problematic behaviors outside of football raised some pretty significant question marks. The Cleveland Browns decided to take a shot on him, and he went to Cleveland and found himself in a position to where the entire franchise was placed upon his shoulders. The expectation was all placed upon his shoulders, and he is not ready to be a leader. He is not worth a damn. He does not take football seriously enough to be deserving of any draft pick, let alone what was he picked in the second round?
22nd. In the first round, 22nd.
Oh, was he?
First
Okay.
round.
Johnny found himself invited to no longer play for the Cleveland Browns after only a couple of seasons.
Is that right?
Yep. Found himself cut, unsigned, dropping down, and
To the UFL or the Canadian
way
Football
lower
League?
way lower than. So after the Browns, where he went 2-6, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks. How does this happen? Goes to the CFL, plays for the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the Montreal Alouettes in the same season, gets cut by both
Deep
of
cut.
them.
Gets
Cut by
them.
both of them in 2018. Then he goes to the Alliance of American Football, the AAFL, and plays for the Memphis Express and gets cut. Then he goes to the Fan Controlled Football League for the FCF Zappers and plays for them. And you know the cool thing about that is there's no coaches. Guess who calls the plays? The fans.
I'm guessing the fans.
The fans. Fan controlled football. He played there until that league went defunct. And so the last time he played professional football, I guess if you call it professional football, was for the Fan Controlled Football Zappers.
Unbelievable fall from grace, because he just never had anybody holding him accountable. Which is why it's such a bummer that he and I and Andre the Giant never got the chance to hang out. I really feel like Andre the Giant would have been the role model to hold him accountable that he really needed.
No one's saying that he wouldn't be fun to party with. I don't think that's ever been said.
I think he would be so annoying. He just seems like he would be the most of everything all the time. You're just like, all right, great, dude. Like, we're just trying to have a halfway decent time. Like, can you just take it down from an 11 to like a 8?
So you guys might be thinking, the listener might be thinking, where's Jamarcus Russell in this whole thing?
Oh yeah, who's going to talk about the
well,
Roman Coliseum?
Yeah, we had to make a decision because we have trashed old Russell here quite a bit on the show,
Yes.
Great friend of the show.
and he would have been the obvious choice for all of us. And so
It's true.
he's the Roman Coliseum for us. Who wants to explain the Roman Coliseum concept that we stumbled upon?
Well, it's just the alpha and the omega. You cannot top the Roman Coliseum. Well, you know, when people say
Where did it come from? Where did we?
We said because it was where would you want to witness a live sporting event?
We did sports venue of all time that you wish that you could, go and witness some sort of event at, and we all just agreed not to
wanted
go
the
with the
Roman
Roman Coliseum.
That's
Because, obviously every last one of us would do anything to see something at the Roman Coliseum.
Just like Lizzie McGuire. Like
yes.
Lizzie McGuire.
Oh, shout out to
I remember
Lizzie.
seeing that movie,
Real
seeing
deep
that movie as a kid and just thinking, there's concerts inside the Coliseum? There's not freaking concerts inside the Coliseum.
I've seen that
We're
movie
just-
more times than any other movie ever.
That just makes me sad.
It was the road trip DVD that we had.
This listener, in this movie called the Lizzie McGuire movie, they have a concert inside of the Roman Colosseum.
I thought it was
Listener, this is our next ad. So we're at an ad break in case you don't know. We're actually a very pro Lizzie McGuire podcast.
Hey, we have the same birthday, me and Hillary Duff. How about that?
Congratulations.
Remember, listener, you can now listen to the show on all major podcast networks, including Google, Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. If you're enjoying the show, please consider following and rating the show and leave us a review if you listen through Apple. And please follow the YouTube channel. Send us some DMs, send us some emails, be a friend, tell a friend about the podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Juice Boys Show. We are constantly adding some hot content, some hot takes.
Hey, buddy.
New sponsor in today's Stat of the Day.
So, fellas, today's stat of the day is brought to you by Draymond's Dojo.
Personally tested out by Jordan Poole.
And Draymond himself would like to personally welcome every last man, woman, and child the opportunity to learn his brand of martial arts, Dre Fu, which is a spectacular new martial art that blends the subtle art of sucker punching people with the challenge of still acting like the victim. Now, unfortunately, Draymond's Dojo will not be fully opening its doors until Adam Silver grows a spine and suspends Draymond indefinitely. But we expect this likely will never happen. But we do anticipate Dre to earn another brief suspension any day now. So sign up for our introductory class, where Draymond himself has promised to run around the room and personally punch each lucky student before rolling on the ground when someone inevitably hits back. Draymond's Dojo. All the fun of physical violence with none of the responsibility. That's the Draymond way.
Personally attended by Dylan Brooks himself. Dylan Brooks is an avid Draymond Dojo.
Big fan. Big fan.
Avid consumer of the Draymond Dojo, where they personally teach you how to take down 7-foot tall men by choking them out and falling backwards.
Yeah, and if you need to know where Draymond's Dojo is, it's right next to John Morant's shooting range.
The one-stop shop.
Everything you could need.
Did you just make that up, or did you?
Oh, yeah.
On the
Yeah, I
spot.
That was beautiful.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
All right, boys. Obviously, Super Bowl coming up. We are not going to do picks. We even tried to find some odds for some Super Bowl or not, for some Pro Bowl picks, and they got nothing because it's a flag football game at this point.
And nobody
I
cares.
can't believe you can't gamble on it. That is so upsetting.
Our backup was the Pebble Beach Pro-Am to bet on some celebrity golf people, and shocker, we can't do that either. So we got to give our money to.
What? Is this America?
We got nothing here, boys.
So we are going to end tonight's show with a stat of the day. But before we do that, Chris is going to give us one last rundown of how we did last week, how we're doing going into. Guys, can we say? Do we have to say the big game? I just realized. Can we say that
we're not paying
the
anybody.
superb
we're not receiving any
owl?
monetary value?
the bowl of the bowl that's super?
The
Chris, how do we
superb
do?
owl.
The super bowel movement.
Super bowel. We've known about some of those.
Chris, how did we do before we jump into the stat of the day?
Yeah. So let's take a look here. So Wheel of Degeneracy, not doing so great. 0-3 last week.
Oh, wheel.
I'm still in third place.
Yes.
Overall, I had no shot of catching up, but I did have a respectable 2-1. I'll take
Good
it.
job. Back-to-back weeks. I'm proud of you, bud.
Juice Boy McCoy also had himself a 2-1.
Hey, that's okay.
Mahomes over 240.5. Do you know how many passing yards?
He had
Mahomes
I
had?
thought it was 250. I thought he had 241.
He had 241.
Oh, boo.
Where you at, Joe?
You covered by a half a yard.
Where you at, Joe?
Oh my
Where you
God, by
at?
the skin of your teeth. And Joey, you've dropped,
It's
buddy.
slipping away, bud.
Dropped.
Like Gronk and Kelsey. It's
And so now, Joey, you're 3 back
on.
from McCoy, and so as we're rolling into the Super Bowl, your best case scenario. Actually, you know what? Screw that. We're going to give you a shot. Rolling into the Super Bowl, I'm going to plan something extra special. We're going to do 5 picks each.
Hell yes, I'm going to go 5-0.
We're going to give you a shot.
What?
To actually catch McCoy. Yeah, who gives a
This is
shit?
garbage.
Well, because
I'm gonna do it.
otherwise, then we're playing for nothing. We're playing
Yeah.
for a tie at best.
I get
What
the
is that?
pulp. I get the pulp.
No, we are Dan Campbell fans here. We are here to gamble. Hit on 18,
Right.
McCoy. Deal with it. Was ready to get juicy.
Yes.
No,
Yes,
I
am.
won.
Oh my
Jeez.
God!
Dude, when there's still a
bad.
game left.
With 5.
It's
I'll roll
the
my sleeves.
superb owl, bro.
It's a,
Hey,
Come
if
on,
you
we
want,
gotta
I
go
could
big.
make it.
it's a super bowel movement.
If you want, I could make it 20 picks. So then I would have a shot to catch up.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, last Super Bowl.
How's that sound?
I put at least 50 bets down. So
Who makes the rules here? We're wrapping up the show a little differently, like we just said. Stat of the day. Chris, you have no shot at this, but good luck, my friend.
Oh, I'm guessing Charles Barkley again.
Super Bowl 13, 1979. Joey, would you just guess who was in it?
Raiders and Eagles.
Not even close. You suck.
What? That's gotta be
Green Bay
close.
Packers.
No.
1979. It had to have been the Rams and Steelers.
Steelers and Cowboys.
Steagles.
1979.
Okay.
Super Bowl 13, 1979. There was so many Hall of Famers combined on this game, it created a percentage of total Hall of Famers. What percentage of Hall of Famers were in Super Bowl 13 in 1979?
That's a great question. Okay, and of course
Wow.
I'm gonna go at least off by
1800.
10. Yeah,
Pittsburgh
yeah.
won the Super Bowl
1800.
featuring X amount of Hall of Famers, 35 to 31. This was the Steelers' third Super Bowl in 5 years. How many Hall of Famers played in that game?
Was their. I thought that was their last one. That was their fourth. All right, so we've got Bradshaw. At
What
least
percentage?
8. No, at least 8 on the Steelers because they had like Mike Webster, Mean Joe Green, player. The Cowboys, Staubach, Casper. I'm gonna say between the two teams there was 13 Hall of Famers. So I'm gonna say that is 8% of the Hall of Fame.
Bob, I'm going 8.5%.
Oh, we go. Just cutting Joe at the knees. Jeez. Joey, holy shit. It was 7% of all members of the Hall of Fame took part in Super Bowl 13. There was 26 Hall of Famers in this game.
Oh my
Oh my
God! I was
God!
off
Wow,
by
that's
half.
amazing.
He was off by half.
And that 13 was ridiculous.
26 Hall of Famers played in the 1979
there was
World Series.
maybe 13 just on each team. Good Lord.
I
I
just
heard
said
that, McCoy.
Yeah, I just said the
heard
name
that.
of the game 14. We're gonna get sued up the ass.
And
26.
the MLB.
Is that the cease and desist we're waiting for?
Please,
brought that up
Roger,
in a long
Roger, would
time.
you
Yeah.
personally sign it? I will get it tattooed on my ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm tattooing on my ass?
I don't know if that's
Oh my
the end of the
God.
show. I have
This
no
is the end of the
idea.
show, baby. Let's
On
go.
your ass? Don't do that.
Oh, I cannot wait to see that. Like one cheek or both?
Both, obviously. The crack is the space.
That's a big. That's a
Is it?
sizable tattoo.
I got a
I
big
had a
ass.
buddy
That's
so
exciting.
nasty we nicknamed him Trucker, and he had a
Where are we
USDA
going?
grade A meat seal tattooed on his ass, and also a
Of course,
leprechaun,
that's your friend.
also a leprechaun pushing a lawnmower through his pubic area. Absolutely hysterical.
I had a buddy who got Herbie Husker tattooed on his ass just so that he could go around to parties and go, "Hey, I got Herbie Husker tattoo. You want to see it?" And then moon people.
That's sexual harassment and assault, brother.
This show has
Tell
blown
him.
up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have something special for you
Well,
next week going into
do
our
we?
Super Bowel Movement game. We are so excited. We want to thank
So many
everyone.
chicken wings.
This show's blowing up. We're reaching a lot of people, a lot of new fans, a lot of new
reaching
listeners.
us.
You're touching our hearts by listening to this show.
That's so sentimental and
Your kids
true.
have touched me. I'm pretty sure I've
And
touched
I've touched your kids. School of Rock, 2003. That movie's 20 years old. Can you believe that? Anyway.
Joey didn't actually know that reference. He was just making an independent statement.
That'll do it for us.
That's a thing he regularly says.
This show is a complete train wreck, and we love it. We'll see you next week. Love, love, love.
Bye.
Bye.